Hats are sneakily hard to make, but when you swap fabric and its fraying edges for leather, you pretty much cut the number of steps in half and you end up with a pretty unique hat. There's also a free pattern for you in the description so you can work alongside me. Let's get started. Print the pattern at 100% scale and double check it with the scale guide. There are 3 brim pieces, an adjustment strap, seam strips, I'll explain those later, and a main panel, which is made up from 4 pieces. You'll need to trim along the guidelines and assemble those pieces as shown in this diagram and according to the guide in the middle. I always like to glue my paper patterns to some poster board to make a template I can easily trace. When cutting out your pattern, you can choose from 3 sizes for the brim, or you can just trace a brim from your favorite hat, which is all I did to make this piece. Luckily for you, you don't have to rip apart the rest of the hat like I did to make the rest of the pattern. I'll briefly explain later how you can tweak the shape of this piece depending on the shape and fit you prefer, because I care a lot about shape when it comes to hats, and the material choice will dictate how the hat drapes and how well it holds its shape. For this project, I highly recommend a soft tempered leather in about the 3-ounce range, which will resemble the drape of a thick fabric. This is our Stonewall leather in the denim color, and it's got a really unique finish. You can really see what I mean in this tan color. I think it's the perfect leather for this project since I want it to resemble a fabric hat and not look like I'm wearing a football on my head. This leather is really scratch resistant, so that's why I'm tracing with a pin instead of an awl. Luckily, this pattern just barely fits within a 12 by 24 inch panel, but you might wish you had bought a whole side after working with this leather. I cut out the straight sections with my rotary cutter and the rest with leather scissors. First, I punched the small holes at the corners so I had something to aim for as I cut out all those sections. Since this is a softer leather, I think a good pair of scissors is the best tool for the job. I made sure to cut on the edge of the pin lines so that none of them would be visible on the final product. Sorry to confuse things, but I'm tweaking this pattern slightly because I want this hat to be all one color. The pattern is designed to have a 2-tone look with a firm veg tan brim and a softer leather lining on the bottom connecting to the main panel. But I'm going to add 1 piece of blue leather on top as well, which is why I'm cutting 1 additional oversized brim piece from the blue leather. No matter what, the brim should always be cut from a firm leather, anywhere from a 4 to 7 ounce veg tan. I cut that oversized as well since I'm lining it, but normally I would start off by cutting it to its final shape. So, under normal circumstances, cut the brim liner from the soft leather and the brim from a firm leather. You can also cut a brim insert from some kind of dense cardboard or a thin plastic for some added structure. The adjustment strap will also be glued to some veg tan since it would be too floppy on its own. Normally, I would just do 1 layer of veg tan for the strap, but again, I'm going for full blueberry on this one. Out of the remaining leather, cut 6 5-inch strips that are 5/8 of an inch wide. Those are the last leather pieces you're going to need. A contact cement is essential for this project. I use S18. All the pieces that are being lined will be bonded together with this glue, and it's essential for the construction of the hat. I glued the 2 oversized brim pieces together, cut both layers out at the same time for a cleaner edge, and then glued that to the brim liner piece. There are some guidelines on the pattern to show you how to place this piece. Whether your brim is 2 or 3 layers, trim and sand all the edges flush after they're glued together. Once it's a nice smooth curve, mark a guideline 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way around the brim. You'll need at least 1 seam all the way around to keep the layers together. Then you can add as many additional seams as you'd like for aesthetics. I marked 2 more lines spaced 1/4 inch apart. I'm making the shorter bill, so there's not that much space to fill. Set that aside until you're ready to head to the sewing machine. There's a little more prep to be done on the other pieces before you can start assembling. I glued the adjustment strap next and trimmed it flush. I realized it was thicker than my previous ones since it's 2 layers, so all I had to do was skive that side down, which will be attached to the hat. I trimmed it to length, beveled the veg tan layer, marked the sewing line, and set that aside. I decided not to punch the holes until after the test fit at the very end. I used an English point punch on the end of each of these seam strips. This shape will help them fit better into the corners of the crown to reduce some bulk. For the main panel or the crown, I wanted to install 3/16 inch eyelets while the piece was still flat. The handy press is the perfect tool for this job, but we also sell a handheld set with the eyelets and a setter, which is really affordable. Metal eyelets aren't essential, but I think they look nicer than just a plain ventilation hole. The final bit of prep work is the most important part, and it's really what makes this project special. The hat comes together with a reinforced butted seam. There are no hems, no folded seam allowances, no bias tape. The pieces just butt together and the seam strips keep them together. I marked a 1/4 inch from the edge on all these triangle shaped areas to help me place the strips evenly. A 1/4 inch is a little less than half of the width of these strips, so these marks will be hidden. Use contact cement and carefully glue those areas, trying not to glue past the mark. A glue spreader will be more precise than the brush that's attached to the bottle. Coat those seam strips as well. Attach the pointed tip first, then go all the way down on one side. Then go back up to where you started and work down the other side. The small hole at the top is a good way to stay aligned. The other thing to focus on is butting that edge as closely as possible to the other one. Try not to stretch or warp the leather in any way so that the ends fall evenly with each other. Though you can always trim that later if necessary while trimming the strip. Repeat that 5 more times and you end up with a head-shaped bowl. And trust me, this is so much easier than 6 French seams and bias tape and top stitching and all the bulk that comes with a normal hat. Some tips regarding this odd shape. Every person is different, so if you need to make some variations on this pattern, here's how this piece works. The more curved these areas are, the more of a round bowl shape you'll get. You can reduce the volume by removing some material and flattening the curve, which will create more of a cone shape. You can also adjust the length of these seams for a deeper or shallower profile as well. Okay, now time for a lot of sewing. This project can be hand sewn, just be prepared to add a few hours to what is honestly a pretty quick build with a machine. I'm sewing on the Sailrite fabricator with a smooth left zipper foot. This is Tech 70 thread and a size 16 twist point needle. Sew 1/8 of an inch from the butted seam. I'm using the edge of the center foot as my guide. You'll need to invert the crown to sew these 6 seams. Another reason I love this leather is just how well it sews. I never seem to have tension issues, and the stitches always look great both on the front and back side, with 0 track marks. Once I made it all the way around, I trimmed all the threads and finished the ends with the thread burner, since these will be visible from the outside. Next, I sewed all the guidelines I marked on the brim. This is a great test of sewing skills, how smoothly you can sew a curve, follow a line, and connect rows. I think it's the most fun piece of sewing in the whole project. I also sewed around the perimeter of the adjustment strap before heading back to the workbench. To attach the crown to the brim, mark the gluing guidelines shown on the pattern and the center guideline on the brim. Before gluing, cut slits into the brim liner so that it can take the curved shape a little bit better. Add glue to the 1/2 inch section on the brim liner and the front edge of the crown in the section between those guidelines. Since I glued this after cutting the slits, there will be little glue strings keeping all them together, so I break those with my scratch-awl before they can dry. When the glue is tacky, place the center seam over the center point of the brim and work outward, keeping the edges flush. With the edge in place, fold back the flaps and splay them out to match the curve of the crown. Now, you've got something that looks like a hat, but let's make it a hat you actually want to wear. A nice fabric sweatband will make this leather hat feel just as comfortable as a normal one. This is 12-ounce Nimbus cotton duck fabric. I chose it because I'd rather have a natural fiber in contact with my skin, and I need something that irons well. I'm cutting a 2-inch strip about 25 inches long on the bias of the fabric. This strip will be fed through my 1-inch binding tape maker, which folds the hems for me. So all I have to do is press it flat. To keep the hems in place permanently, each side will need to be sewn eventually. I folded a hem on the end and sewed one side down. Next, you'll need to clip that around the hat with the unsewn side of the sweatband along the edge of the leather. For the brim section, you'll need to use basting tape or glue. I basted the fabric 1/8 of an inch from this seam on the brim. This spacing is important to ensure the fabric gets sewn together with the other layers. Once I reached the end, I trimmed the excess length, folded a hem on the end, and took it back to the machine. Sew 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way around the hat. This seam is doing a lot. It's keeping the hem of the sweatband in place, attaching the sweatband to the rest of the hat, and attaching the brim to the crown permanently. The last step is installing the strap and its buckle, or whatever kind of clasp you want to use. I riveted the strap to the left side of the hat and sewed a buckle to the right side. The slit lets you hide the tail of the strap inside the hat under the sweatband. I did a test fit to see where I wanted to punch the holes and realized the strap was a bit longer than I wanted. If it weren't sewn, I would just trim the length down. With that said, you might want to make this the last piece you make to get the perfect length. With the holes punched, I could finally try it on and start shaping the brim. I'm still undecided on whether I like this or the two-tone look better. A couple other ways to customize this further are to add some kind of pattern fabric for the sweatband, and of course adding some kind of patch or stamp to the front. I'd say the pros to this hat are that it's comparatively easy to make, and the soft leather and sweatband make it feel normal, not like I'm wearing a hard hat. I also think it looks unique without being too garish. The cons are that it's not very waterproof or as breathable as a typical cap. This is one of the most fun projects I've done in a while, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to try this out for yourself using the free pattern. I'll also link all the leather and tools I used in the description below. This is the second wearable item I've made. The first was this vest, so give that video a watch after this one. Thanks for watching.